Good evening. Sorry, got your attention. It is in fact on. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our annual Helping Hands celebration. My name is Betsy Yost, and I am Impact 100 Milwaukee's Director of Events. Tonight is one of my favorite gatherings of the year, a chance to reconnect, to feel the energy of this community, and to honor the incredible work of our 2025 grant recipients and our Merit Award partner. Thank you all for being here, for your generosity, and for the way you show up, not only for Impact 100, but for Milwaukee. We are so glad to have you with us. It is now my pleasure to introduce someone whose leadership, vision, and heart guide everything we do. Please join me in welcoming our awesome president, Margaret Cry.
Thank you so much, Betsy. Good evening, everyone. As Betsy said, I'm Margaret Cry, and I have the honor of serving as the president of Impact 100 Greater Milwaukee. Our mission is simple: to leverage the power of women's collective giving to award transformational grants to local nonprofits. And as you've talked with members and guests tonight, I hope you've already seen how that mission comes to life through the connections, conversations, and shared commitment filling this room. And it's a very full room. It's so exciting to see. Helping Hands is one of our most meaningful traditions. It brings us together in the spirit of community, generosity, and partnership, and it sets the stage for the work ahead in our next grant cycle. Tonight, we will hear updates from our 2025 award recipients: Neighborhood House, Safe and Sound, Serenity Inns, St. Francis Children's Center, and the Wisconsin Conservatory of Music. You will also learn more about our grants process and explore opportunities to get involved through both membership and committee service. Before we welcome our nonprofit partners to the stage, we'll begin with an overview of the grants process from our grants co-director, Mary Lou Gonzalez. She will share what she and her team have been working on so far this year, including making 2 of the committees virtual for easier access. This is also a great moment to remind everyone that Impact 100 Greater Milwaukee is an entirely volunteer-driven organization. The amount of work that our grants directors and their teams pour into ensuring a smooth, rigorous process is truly remarkable. Since 2015, our committee members have served over 9,500 hours in dedicated grant committee work. Awarding transformational grants is the core of our mission, and we approach that responsibility with great care. Once you're a part of Impact 100 Greater Milwaukee family, you stay a part of that family. Staying connected with our past award recipients is important to the Impact 100 ethos. In addition to the extraordinary work that our nonprofits do for our community, they help Impact 100 by offering programming that keeps our members informed about the challenges nonprofits face locally. And we do everything we can to support them, making connections, sharing resources, and amplifying their updates across our network. Our 2025 grantees and Merit Award recipients provided us with wish lists of items that help them continue to offer their invaluable services. We shared those lists when you registered for tonight's festivities, and I know that many of you shopped ahead of time and sent those items directly to the nonprofits. If you didn't, don't worry, it's not too late. Please either stop by the tables in the hallway after the program to meet the organizations and learn how you can support them, or they're all sitting at tables. You'll recognize them after they're up at the podium. You can chase them down. They're happy to accept donations, and you can also go on their websites if you want to make a direct financial contribution. After we hear from our nonprofit partners, Piper Plummer Mahegan will speak about membership and the many ways to become more involved as we move into our 11th year of giving. With that, it is my pleasure to welcome Mary Lou Gonzalez to share more about our grants process.
Thank you, Margaret. Good evening and happy holidays. Julie Barris and I have the privilege of serving as your Impact 100 Grants co-directors this year. Our grant year officially kicked off today at noon when the deadline closed for the letters of inquiry for our 2026 funding cycle. And now begins the exciting work of reviewing this year's letters of inquiry. Volunteers, women just like you, make this process possible, and it truly is the heart of what we do. Before I introduce our grants team leaders, I wanted to walk you through the 3 key benefits of serving on the grant committee. Benefit number 1, you learn directly about and directly from our community. Serving on the grants committee gives you a front row seat to the challenges and opportunities facing Greater Milwaukee and to the incredible organizations working to address them. You bring your experience and perspective to the group. And you also learn so much about the women who sit around the table with you. And tonight, we are fortunate to hear from all 5 of our 2025 award recipients who will share their why and how Impact 100 grants have made a difference. Benefit number 2, you participate in a thoughtful, rigorous, and deeply rewarding process. Impact 100 Greater Milwaukee has built a strong, fair, and well-tested grants review system over the last 10 years, and we continue to refine it each and every season. From letters of inquiry to full proposals to site visits, your insights help ensure the process remains consistent, accessible, and thorough. Beginning in January, we'll guide every committee member through training. You'll get to know your committee, review proposals together, and ultimately bring forward one finalist for our annual award celebration on June 2nd. Benefit number 3, you meet an extraordinary group of women. Grant committees bring together talented, curious, committed women from across our community. You learn from one another, you challenge one another, and you work together toward a shared goal that makes a real difference. It's inspiring, and it's a whole lot of fun. Serving on a grant committee is one of the most meaningful ways to live our mission, collectively awarding transformational grants that strengthen Milwaukee. If you're not yet a member, we hope that you'll join us tonight. There are QR codes around, and I'm sure Pipe will give you further direction tonight. And if you are a member, we invite you to sign up for our grants committee when registration opens January 5th through the 9th. We also have a grants information table outside if you'd like to kind of stop over and learn a little bit more about what the committees do, what the time commitment involves, and where your experience might be a great fit. So please stop by after the program and talk with us. Now, I'm really honored to introduce the incredible women who are leading the committees this year. If you're in the room, please stand when I introduce you. Arts and Culture will be led by Kimberly Rennie Weisgerber. Is Kim here tonight? Excellent, thank you. Education, Pam Klein. Woohoo. Environment and Revitalization, Cynthia Afferbach. Family, Barb Holtz. Health and Wellness, Jill Boyle. And we have a few women who work behind the scenes. Finance Review Chair, Robin Martin. And if your superpower happens to be finance, I know that we're looking for one more person to join Robin on our team. So find her after the program. The Grant Platform Chair, Amy Johnson, amazing. And our Grant Development Chair, Beth Kumar. Thank you, ladies. Thank you to this outstanding group of women. Your dedication and collaboration make our work not only possible, but really joyful. We are so very grateful. And now it's my pleasure to introduce one of our 2025 award recipients. The transformational work they are doing is only possible because of the generosity and involvement of women like you. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our first guest speaker, John Janowski, the Executive Director of Neighborhood House of Milwaukee.
clicker. Well, good evening, everybody. Again, my name is John Janowski, and I'm the Executive Director of Neighborhood House of Milwaukee, and it is really a privilege to be back here with you tonight. I had a flashback as I walked up here. I expected to see the 5-minute clock start, and we don't have a clock tonight, so I can spend a little bit more time talking about Neighborhood House. But I'll stick to the 5-minute limit that I was given. So, but seriously, it's really an honor to be back with you, and we're going to talk about the very transformational project that is 95% done at Neighborhood House. So, quick update on our mission. It hasn't changed in 80 years. This is our mission. We inspire discovery, build leaders every single day through our variety of programs, which I'll go through in a minute. Early childhood education, which is really the focus of the project that you'll be hearing about in a few minutes and that you heard in detail back in June. We have school-age youth programs, after-school programs, teen programs, our international learning program right down the road, which provides refugee assistance. We have community education programs, family-oriented programs for all of the different families that are enrolled in our different programs, and then a big focus, environmental education, part of which we do at our main building, and part of which we do at our nature center in Dodge County. So, the Impact 100 Award, as Marilyn said, we could not have done it without your support, and that is the absolute truth. It is the changes in our backyard that you're about to see in pictures are truly transformational, and it really makes a huge difference in terms of how the space looks and how it's going to be used for our children, for our teachers, and we literally just finished the playground and the pour and play surface about 3 weeks ago. And there's also some landscaping that we did, which was completed. And so really the last piece of the project is we have to put in some new benches for our teachers and for our kids. And we're also putting a little arch in our environmental playground in the back. And our greenhouse is also completed. So we're going to start growing food this winter, and that's part of our environmental and nutrition education that we do with our youth as well. So we're almost done. What are the outcomes of the project? We have more recreational space for all of our youth, and we don't have a lot of space on the near west side in our backyard, so that's a very important outcome. Our playground equipment is certified, has a pour and play surface beneath it, that's certified. So from a regulation standpoint, it's top notch. The surface is safer, it's softer, it looks better. So when kids fall from the monkey bars, they don't land in wood chips anymore. And we don't have to pull out splinters from their legs and their arms and their clothing. That's a big deal for us. 5 new benches coming soon. We were going to do that recently, and then it snowed. So we're going to have to put that off until the spring. Another component is, as I said, we do a lot of environmental education, and the landscaping in the backyard was graded in such a way that it's much more environmentally sustainable for us. We had flooding in the backyard and that sort of thing because over many, many decades, it wasn't graded appropriately. Now it is. So that's also a plus. And as I mentioned, the greenhouse is also done, and we'll be using that regularly. So pictures, those of you that did the field site visit in the spring will kind of remember the first picture. Looks kind of bleak. You see the wood chips. Doesn't look very exciting. A couple other structures that we really didn't even use because they're really old and not really functional. So the new playground that we have is, you'll see in the upper left, there's basically 2 sections, the pour and play surface beneath it, which has a river in between it, which our kids are very excited about crossing. Part of the landscaping is the sod that you see here that used to be where the old equipment was, so that's all been resodded. That's what also gives us more space for them to play, and they can do games and art and all the other things that they do in that area. And here's a little bit of a close-up picture of the new equipment. Much more modern, much more aesthetically pleasing, and certainly much safer. So with that, before we bring Safe and Sound up, again, I just want to sincerely thank all of you for your generosity, for your involvement. I know I speak for all of our staff and our board when I say we were so impressed with the preparation and the organization that your team showed throughout the process. And of course, the impact of the award is generational, and you should be really proud of that. So thank you.
I have to bring this down a little bit. He's just a little taller than I am. Just a little bit. Did I press the green button when I'm ready? Yes. Okay, thank you. Fantastic. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you all for doing what you do every year, all year, so that organizations like Safe and Sound and my co-recipients here are all able to do these transformational projects that we're able to do. And I was incredibly impressed by how much you all were able to get done, as also having outside projects. We were able to make some progress this year. But it's just so incredible to see literal physical transformation happening. And we know in like nonprofit work and in kind of the social sectors in Milwaukee, you can't always see the impact of your dollar. And tonight I think we're gonna get to see a lot of it. And I know with Safe and Sound's project you will. And so I think it's just really special. And in talking with my colleagues here tonight, it was just really, we all kind of beam when we talk about what's happening, because it's so exciting to have such amazing things happen and be able to like directly thank the people who have made it happen. So like round of applause for all of you, because it's really exciting. Safe and Sound is an organization that focuses on safer neighborhoods here in Milwaukee. We work in 5 of the 7 police districts to build safer communities block by block. We work with youth, residents of all ages. We work with the police officers. We bridge communities. We bridge resources and residents together to get them what they need. And one at a time, one resident, one youth at a time, we are able to help people feel safer in their communities and lead safer lifestyles. And so this project is going to do exactly what we said there. Our block is going to be safer. There'll be a safe space for youth to come together, and our neighbors are going to feel seen because of the project. Before I go to the next slide, I want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that we do and some of the stuff that we'll be able to do outside in our new awesome space that we get to have because of all of you. And so the first picture you're going to see there is from our Wear Orange weekend. Raise your hand if you're familiar with Wear Orange weekend, just real quick, hands up. Not a lot of people wear orange. We wear orange to end gun violence. We wear orange to raise awareness of gun violence and what's happening there. And so Safe and Sound has partnered with the city and other organizations in Milwaukee to do anti-gun violence work. Every summer we launch a big campaign. This summer we had it, again, outside, and we were in our parking lot. And all I could think the whole time, because it did happen like the week after we received the grant, was like, oh, this is gonna be so much better next year. It's gonna be so much greater. The stage will actually be a stage, which will be the pavilion. It's just gonna be so great. It'll be such a good space. We can put everybody on the front lawn. It's just gonna be so much better. But the impact remains the same, right? We're able to help families that are affected by gun violence, and we're able to inspire youth to choose better paths. I can't tell exactly what all of these are, but as you can see, we have a lot of our events inside of our building. And so we're gonna be having more of those events kind of outside. We're in physical spaces, and we know that if you see activity in your neighborhood, you feel safer in your neighborhood, right? So that's just one of the beautiful things that this project is gonna help accomplish. That was the vision that we shared with you all last year, earlier this year. Feels like last year, I'm already in 2026. That was the vision that we shared with you all. And for those of you who don't know, the church building looks really pretty in its AI form here, but it is a really old stone building. The front facade where the fake mural is was literally peeling off. They had to come in and like scrape it off before you could paint the mural. And it just looked like an old church building, and we wanted to make it clear that it was a community gathering space. That was kind of the mission purpose, the hope for this project. So I'm really happy to show you the next slide. Does anybody want to see it? Yeah? All right. When I tell you all that I cried every day for like 2 weeks while this was happening, I am not exaggerating. Ask my coworker right here. I'm a big old crybaby. Every day I came in, it was primed. I was like, it's primed! I'm like, did you guys see the front of the building? It's primed. And they were like, yeah, Jenny, we saw the gray block on the front of the building. Cool. And then he had the outline. I was like, did you guys see the outline? Like, I literally have like multiple pictures every step along the way. Because if you're familiar with the neighborhoods that are just to the north of Sherman Park, which is where we're located, there's not a lot of city investment in kind of the beautification of that area, right? And there's a lot of really great things happening, a lot of really great nonprofits doing a lot of really great work, a lot of really great communities, Black clubs, Blacks community neighborhoods, all doing really good things. But when it comes to how we spend that money, we're not spending it to do beautifications projects. We're spending it to provide substance abuse programming to families and kids, or anti-violence programming to families and kids. And so being able to be a literal beacon of hope in a neighborhood is quite impressive. Now, if I had taken this picture today, it would look very different because the whole landscape is white. So now it just looks like a matted picture, just right there in the middle of it. You can see it when you're driving up Sherman Boulevard, which is incredible because we kind of said that, but with like the leaves off the trees and then the white snow everywhere, you can actually just see this like beautiful, colorful, and it is a beacon of what will happen in the next stages, which is a community gathering space. And so really excited about that. What we have coming up is that we have the mural done. The mural is completely done. We're super excited about that. But we had to kind of take our general contractor's attention off of that for a little bit, off of this project, because like most of Milwaukee, we were impacted by the floods. Our entire lower level of our building where we house all of our leadership staff was flooded as part of that. And then, you know, that was August, and then come November, we had a old water line burst that is also affecting the sub-lower level, but we had to do that. So we had to use our contractor to kind of manage that project for us, and then they kind of put all of this on pause. So the snow has now ended our progress because some of the landscaping and groundbreaking was supposed to happen, but apparently once things freeze, nobody wants to try and do anything. What is this, Wisconsin or something? I don't know. So we're really excited, though, that come Q1, we'll kind of start some of the progress. I'm not one of those people that's going to read a slide to you, so you can take a second and read through it, but we're really excited. We have a sorority that's going to put in the free little library for us. They're donating everything to do with it, the library, the installation, all the books. I just think it's so incredible. Has anybody seen the recent stats of how many kids are graduating and not being at level, right? I'm seeing nods in the room. Books are important. They're important for adults, they're important for kids. I'm really excited about the library. We're going to host a Porch Light Live show, which is a healing resource. We're going to host that Wear Orange weekend out there. We're going to bring together the community that surrounds us to really talk to them about how they want to use the space, like our actual neighbors, and see what they want to do. We've included them along the way as it is. We're really excited about that. And then as a culmination of something we've been doing, our Better Ways to Cope Youth Showcase. We'll be bringing together the youth that have been either dealing with, in some way, opioid abuse. They're either victims of former users or have family members that have been users, and them getting together in a celebratory way. And so those are just some of the few key things that we already have planned for next year. But if you talk to most of my coworkers, they're also just really excited about lunch on the front yard. So when we talk about this is like a really all community affecting project, it really is. And we're so grateful for all of you being here today and everything that you've done. We had a wheelbarrow show up from Amazon. If you bought the wheelbarrow, thank you so much. But you definitely confused a lot of my coworkers. They're like, who ordered a wheelbarrow? I was like, oh, that's mine, thank you. Yes, we got the wheelbarrow. So really excited about that. And then we just really want to thank you all. Like Mary Lou said, or who else said it? Everybody said it. Once you're part of this organization, you really are. And so the amount of you that have reached out or just say hello when we see you and the constant resharing. There's the picture of me crying, holding my head at the event that continues to resurface. Thank you for that one. Love that picture. Just really special, and we really want to thank you all for everything that you have done to make this possible, whether it's serving on a community or just being a member. So thank you all so much.
It's okay. It's okay. The other part to that is I don't have any slides to click over. And part of that reason is because we deal with people, and people just don't make good slides. But thank you. I thank you for the opportunity for being here and also being able to come back and talk about our project, which was expanding our drop-in clinic to 5 days a week. And so we've been able to do that. We have served 116 more individuals. We have given out We have given out 300 to 500 Narcan kits for harm reduction. We have completed over 1,000 hours of mental health therapy. But besides all that, the drop-in clinic continues to be a pipeline for recovery and treatment. Last time I was here, or I met majority of you, I talked about a guy named Tim. Some of y'all may remember Tim. Tim lives in our alumni house now. So it became full circle. He completed residential treatment, moved to our transitional living house, and now he's working in our alumni house. However, I want to talk about a guy we call Red. His name is Nicholas, but he prefers to call himself Red, and he'll tell you because I got red hair and mustache and beard. So he gets offended when you call him Nicholas. Just a little backstory. Our drop-in clinic is located behind Redeemer's Church in the build-out space, and it's actually Olga Wellness. And they started Olga Wellness because there was a death on the church steps from a guy that suffered with mental health, and he was killed on the church stairs. And so the church always felt like they wanted to do more, and so they built this partner space, and Serenity Inns ended up taking that space and making it into a drop-in clinic. There was a guy sleeping in the same exact stairwell as the guy that was killed. And the church was informing my staff and talking to the drop-in clinic saying, hey, we need to call the police on this guy. He won't move. We continue to talk to him. He's becoming territorial. When other people comes to the steps, he's getting a little violent, and the church was getting scared. However, my staff stepped in. Please don't call the police. Just let us try to work with him. And we invited him in, almost like the Tim story, right? And we invited him in. He came around, checked everybody out, learned the names of everyone, and he left. But he continued to sleep on the stairs, and we continued to ask him not to. I was over there for a board meeting because our board meets there. And I come out and they say, hey, Ken, this is Red. This is the guy that's on the stairs that they want to. So we offer him some food. He's sitting there. He's eating lunch. And I come out of the board meeting and I said, hey, how you doing? He said, I'm okay. I said, you want something else to eat? He like, no, I'm good. I just need a cigarette. I'm like, okay. I said, well, I heard you going to treatment today. And he said, yeah, I can do that. And I said, oh, okay. And usually we never have a bed open. So this is like a God piece for me. I called Patrice, my clinical director. I said, do we got a bed open? She was like, yeah. So I said, hey, you're going to treatment today. He was like, I'll go. And my staff drove him over to residential treatment, and he came into treatment, and he's still there. He's been there 60 days now. But he don't understand how much my heart is filled every time I see him. Every time I walk in, honestly, I said he'll be there 2 days, he'll be there 3 days, but he's still there. He's still there, and he's happy, and he's looking better and better every day. So I go back to the church, and Pastor Lisa was there, and I said, Pastor Lisa, where's Red? I don't see him on the stairs. And she said, I don't know, Ken. You think he's in here somewhere? Right? And I said, no. I said, he's in treatment. And honestly, she just started to cry. And she showed me the goosebumps on her arms. And that's when I learned that was the same exact stair where someone was killed. And she said, Ken, this comes full circle to me. And last week, she actually said that was confirmation. And she's actually retiring after that. And she felt like that's what she wanted to make sure the church was able to offer for substance use disorder and mental health. And so for us to be a part of that, for all of you to be a part of that, is truly a blessing. And we couldn't have done this without you. I always look at the clinic now, because you hear a lot of phrases and a lot of stories about pipelines to prisons, MPS being a pipeline to prison. And so I always look at the drop-in clinic now as a pipeline to recovery. So thank you.
Ken, I can't follow that. Come on. Okay. Oh, my heart is just like melting right now. So thank you for that story. Hello, everyone, and good evening. My name is Stephanie Millard. I have the privilege of managing St. Francis Children's Center's Birth to Three program. And it's such a joy to be here with you tonight, and I want to begin with a heartfelt thank you. Your generosity through Impact 100 Greater Milwaukee created an opportunity that is already shaping the future for the children and families we serve. I'm excited to share the progress we've made together on the Gear for Growth Lending Library. Over the past several months, our team has been busy laying the foundation for a strong, sustainable lending library. We began by carefully assessing our available storage space, because when you order dozens of walkers, communication devices, therapy tools, adaptive seating, sensory equipment, and a ton more, you quickly realize that organization is everything. So we restructured our main closet for larger items and installed new locked cabinets in our hallway so that smaller pieces can be easily accessed. And the cabinets look fabulous. It may sound simple, but ensuring that our therapists and special education teachers can quickly locate exactly what a child needs when they need it is vital. One of the biggest realizations we had early on our way was that our original storage plan just wasn't big enough for our extensive and diverse equipment list we developed. You know, the old adage, our eyes were bigger than our stomach. So your investment has allowed us to reimagine that space thoughtfully, ensuring that the library isn't just functional today, but scalable for years to come. Once storage was optimized, we have reviewed our product list and ordered from some vendors, sourcing best pricing, delivery timelines. I even got a Black Friday discount. So some of the things that we've started to purchase, which, let's all be honest, this is the fun part. Figuring out the storage and the organization wasn't the fun part, but this is the fun part because we get to now shop for all the amazing stuff. So some of the things that we've purchased so far are 5 iPads, which will work as adaptive communication devices for some of our children so that who are nonverbal, so that they can explore what program might work best for them, and we can set them up for success when they go to school. We also just purchased over $10,000 in sensory items, working different things like weighted vests and Chewy toys and just a million, a sensory swing and a stand that we can put in our cars and bring to the family's home so they can trial it before they use ourselves. I actually have my own, I only have 2 clients because I'm the manager, but one of my 2 clients, he's been struggling to sleep at night, and he rocks himself against the wall hard. And they're in an apartment building, and it's disruptive to everyone else. It keeps the younger son awake at night. And just the other day, my fabulous OT Sydney, some of you might remember her from last time we were here, said, hey, can we get this rocking chair? The family would like to purchase it, but they want to make sure that it might work to help. Because we've spent 7-8 months trying to help this family come up with a solution to the banging of the head to put himself to sleep at night. And so we added it to our list, and we're going to be able to trial that with this family. And if this doesn't work, we'll try something else. We also are, I'm working closely with the PT team to start to order some of the motor equipment, which on the right is what you see there, a reverse walker. That's an example of that. We've also made the intentional decision to separate the pediatric therapy equipment, clinic equipment from the Gear for Growth inventory, so that prevents that confusion and protects the integrity of the program. So there will not be, confusion or things going from one department to the other, even though it's a shared space. So at the same time, our administrative team has built out a loan and return procedure process, forms for checking in and out. Yes, that is an important part of the process that we've been planning ahead of time before we're able to give out all the stuff, right? So we want to have something good in place. A system that keeps the inventory accurate, items in good condition, families supported throughout the borrowing process. So I am thrilled to share that we anticipate beginning equipment loans at the start of the calendar year. I feel like Oprah. You get a walker, you get a Chewy toy. I'm so excited. And so this means that families will soon have access to those tools that can transform daily living and developmental outcomes. In our proposal, we identified the need for an additional $15,000 in outside funding, and I am very excited to share that we were invited to submit a request with the Hickory Fund, and we were awarded $25,000. So both generous gifts covered the new storage infrastructure and expanding. Now we can purchase even more and have even a longer serving capacity and to able to reach more families. Your investment did more than fund a project. It strengthened an entire ecosystem of care, one that walks beside families at some of the most vulnerable and hopeful moments of their lives. In the months ahead, as the first walkers, communication devices, sensory tools, adaptive seats begin moving into children's homes, we will think of you. Your belief in this work is helping children gain mobility, independence, and a sense of possibility that will echo for years. On behalf of our therapists, special education teachers, service coordinators, additional staff, and of course our families, and especially our children, thank you for making the Gear for Growth possible and for being champions of early intervention in our community. We're excited for what comes next, and we are proud to share this journey with you.
I'm short too. Hi, everyone. Allie Ingalls-Mimoser, Director of Development at Wisconsin Conservatory of Music, and a proud Impact 100 member. How could you not after last June's event? Like, how could I not join? Thank you for inviting us here tonight. Thank you for giving us a merit award. Last year, a lot of arts funding was cut. Could not have come in a better fiscal year. Really appreciate that. I also want to thank whoever sent us the rhythm sticks from our wish list. They're on our grant writer's desk right now. They will soon be in the hands of students, but we are going to play with them until the end of the calendar year. I'm going to give you a brief introduction, since it was a merit award, sort of an overview of WCM, and then what we've been up to with our Bronzeville initiative. So, great. We are inspiring individuals and communities through exceptional music education accessible to all. And I love this picture. This is our faculty member, Deontay Ellis. He's on our percussion faculty. He's teaching a summer camp in this photo. He's also on the Bucks Beat drum line, so if you go to a Bucks game, listen for him. He also drums with Kothi Dance. He's an incredible artist. And these students are sitting on the steps of our historic building on Prospect. I love this picture because this mansion was once a luxurious family home 150 years ago, and today we have families, we have students sitting on our front steps from all over Milwaukee playing djembe drums. And what would that family think now, that it's donated to the conservatory? I think they'd really, really be excited to see that. This building is a historic landmark on Milwaukee's east side. It is our flagship location, and it's part of who we are, but it is not all of who we are. Speaking of who we are. So this year we served 11,000 students, and only about 900 of those students are private lessons in one of our buildings. The rest, 10,000 students across the metro area, participate in lessons at one of our 50-plus community partner sites. WCM aspires to provide music in every zip code in Milwaukee, and we're really close. We are the second largest employer of musicians in the state of Wisconsin, just behind the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. So as I said, we've got 50-plus partner sites. 34 of those are Milwaukee Public Schools. That's more than ever any year before this school year. I want you to note that is 1/3 of Milwaukee Public Schools have music teachers because of Wisconsin Conservatory. Thank you. There is a national teacher shortage. There is especially a national music teacher shortage, and we are deeply proud to be able to provide highly trained, highly skilled music providers who can do curriculum within state-mandated guidelines. We've also expanded our programming for senior citizens this year dramatically. We're now at 6 different locations. I'm really excited about the programming at Lutheran Home. This year, all of our programming there is intergenerational. So we're serving the seniors who live there, but we're also serving the early childhood facility that's in residence. So all of our concerts are for both kiddos under 3 and the seniors together. It's been a really incredible partnership, and I am so excited to share more about it next year. It's really taken off. And speaking of early childhood, so 500 of our students are under the age of 3. The majority of those study at partner sites like Nextdoor, La Causa, Sojourner Family Peace Center, and Malika, which is located in the Thrive on King collaboration in the Bronzeville neighborhood. I know I've been to Impact 100 events there. I'm sure many of you have as well. And it's lovely to go and to do our partnership programming in Bronzeville because of our upcoming initiative that you all know. Okay, so here's a rendering of the Bronzeville Arts and Technology Hub, which you've seen before. Quick reminder, of the project. So Michael Auditorio, the developer, is a native of the Bronzeville neighborhood. He's also a WCM alum. He's a real estate developer and a great jazz pianist. Music has a lot of transferable skills, just saying. And we're excited to be a founding presence in this building. It gives us an opportunity to leverage the rich history of the neighborhood. Bronzeville is the home of jazz music in Milwaukee. WCM has a legacy of teaching and performing jazz in the community, so it's a really great fit. We're entering a long-term lease agreement in the building. It's on 6th and North. You can see it being built right now. There are 15 schools serving more than 5,000 students within 1 mile of this building. And there are also many early childhood centers nearby. In comparison, the beautiful mansion you saw in Prospect, there are 5 public schools within 5 schools within a 1 mile radius. So we're going from 5 to 15, and there's about 2,000 students within a mile of Prospect. So this is a huge opportunity for accessibility and growth for us. It's going to be a world-class music facility. We are going to have acoustically engineered studio spaces for private lessons, a huge rehearsal space for early childhood programs, private ensembles, choir rehearsal, and then also a state-of-the-art digital piano lab. This is within this beautiful mixed-use building, ADA accessible. Includes low-income housing, co-working space, a homework area, a lactation room, access to public transportation, all things that we don't currently have at our sites. The construction of the affordable housing is what you can see if you drive down 6th and North. Our part of the building is starting in 2026, and it's looking like we will be opening and doing classes in fall of 2027. And then just looking ahead to 2020, the end of 2026, we're going to continue to add new community partners. And I want to mention that about 20% of those 11,000 students we serve are adults. It could be you. It's never too late to start. Pick up the violin you studied, pick up the French horn you did in high school. Come see us. And I also want you to keep an eye out for our impact report, which talks way more detail than I could today about what we've been up to. There's a beautiful spread about our experience with Impact 100. So please look on our socials for the digital version. I'm happy to mail anybody a hard copy. They're hitting homes this week. We're really happy to share about how our fiscal year went last year. Also, keep an eye out. This April, we're doing a biannual, every other year, biannual instrument drive. We accept instruments, everything but a piano, sorry. We're accepting instruments no matter the condition, and we will pay to refurbish them, and then we give them out to students either in our community partner programs on site or in some cases to schools who don't have a stock of their own. We've given out 800 instruments through this program, and we're really excited. Kids are so excited. Last year we had someone donate 30 violins. So it's incredible. If you've got something sitting in an attic, please give it to us. We will put it to good use. So I love all the murmuring. Yes, please. More of that. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I hope many of you, if you're not already members, join me. Which brings me to invite our president-elect of Impact 100, Piper Plummer Mahegan, to the stage. Thank you.
Good job. She got the name right. Usually I'm Megan or Peeper or Pepper. I've actually gone places where they're like, we just want to know what a Piper Plummer looks like. Well, I hope I didn't disappoint. So after all that you've heard, I hope all of you are very inspired to join all of us so that we can increase our impact. It's hard to believe all the work that we can do. I mean, I think about this all the time, about giving my $100 here or my $500 there, and I know for some of you $1,000 seems like a lot, but when you put it together with 100 other women, $100,000 is something most of us could never give on our own. So we need you to join us. So, just to remind you about this, over the 10 years, starting our 11th year that we've been an organization, we have given over $3.6 million back to the Milwaukee community. That's amazing. Yeah, for sure. So as I just said, for every 101 of you, we put that money together and we give away $100,000 in transformational grant. So last year we had 422 members, so we gave away $422,000. This year we're aiming for 450, and I did a little math, which if my husband was here would be afraid because math is not my strong suit. As of today, we had 300 members, for sure. 68 of those members are new. So if we got all 422 members and add it to the 68 new, yes, it's 490. We would be over our 450, and I, of course, always want to get to 500 because it is my dream to give away $100,000 in each one of our focus areas. So if you haven't joined or renewed yet, sometimes I feel like doing an embarrassing thing and making all of you stand up, but I really wouldn't do that. But this is your opportunity tonight or before December 31st. And some of you may not even be aware of the direct benefits of membership other than seeing what you've given away, but there are a lot more benefits to that. Not only do you have the direct community impact, you get a voice in the process. Because it's one woman, one vote, you're each getting to decide where our money is going to go and who you want to continue to fund for our future of our community. You also get opportunities to learn. I have to say that there's so many things I didn't know about the Milwaukee community until I became involved in this organization because I learned of all the organizations doing the work. Sometimes we can get so overwhelmed about all the bad things we read, and then you come to an impact event and you realize that all of these fabulous people are out there doing the work that we can do on our own, it just always fills my heart. It's amazing. So you learn about those things, which I think makes you a better informed voter and participant in our community, so that's very important. You also get a bigger connection to the community because now you know about all these things. You can get on their boards, you can volunteer, there's all kinds of things that they would love to have from you more than just your money. Your time is just as important. Your involvement is flexible. We don't really want it to be too flexible because we always want you to be involved and give of your time. But if you don't have time right now, your money is just great. You can do whatever you like. You also get professional and personal growth. Being on committees, you develop new experiences that you didn't have before in whatever way that you can take to your jobs or maybe back to an organization and be on their board and help them grow as well. We also this year have it's our second or third year of our Young Philanthropist Group. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but for women under 40, you can contribute $550, and we are matching the $550. We have raised enough money from our other members to fund 36 of those this year. And we have 7 new already, which is very exciting. So how do you join? Well, I'd like to say it's as easy as snapping your fingers, but it's not. There are QR codes on your table that you can scan, and it will take you right to our website, and you can fill out the information there and renew that way. You can also write a check. We never turn those down. If you've got $1,000 cash, I'll take that too. If you are going to use a donor advised fund, we encourage you to do that sooner rather than later because we'd like to have our final numbers by December 31st so we know how much money we're going to get to award. As I told you, membership is $1,100. Maybe I didn't say that, but it's $1,100. $1,000 of that goes directly to the organizations that we fund. The other $100 goes to help Impact 100 do all the things we do, like this event tonight, pays for our behind the scenes, our websites, our membership computer or system, I should say, Member Leap, and those kinds of things. So it's $1,100. If you pay with a credit card, you do have to pay the fees. Sorry, but you do have to pay the fees. And so that is it as far as the payment goes. But again, you can scan that QR code that's right there. Let's get to 450 members. Any of you that are here that have not renewed or paid, I'm going to find you. So get out your phone. It's very easy. All right, with that, let's get there. December 20th. Why wait till the 31st when you're busy with your New Year's Eve plans? So now I'm going to welcome Margaret back to give us some final words.
Thank you, Piper. And thank you all again for joining us tonight. Hearing from our nonprofit partners is always such a powerful reminder of the impact we can make together, and what a meaningful way to begin the holiday season. Thank you, Piper, for sharing more about membership and the many ways to deepen involvement in Impact 100 Greater Milwaukee. Before we close, I want to extend our gratitude to those who made tonight possible. We are immensely appreciative of the sponsors whose generosity allows us to host this event at no cost to members and guests. We are also grateful to the Wisconsin Club for their hospitality and to everyone working behind the scenes, those preparing the delicious appetizers, tending the bar, managing coats, valeting cars, and ensuring everything runs seamlessly. Thank you for making this night so warm and welcoming. And also thank you to Mark, our photographer, and Studio Gear for making sure everyone can hear and see us up here. We appreciate you very much. Finally, to our Impact 100 volunteers, thank you. Your dedication and passion and drive everything we do. From grants to membership to events to outreach, your work strengthens Impact 100 Greater Milwaukee and makes it possible for us to continue awarding transformational grants to local nonprofits. As we close the formal portion of tonight's program, I invite you to stay. Continue the social part of the evening and enjoy this time together. Please take a moment to connect with one another, meet our nonprofit partners, and chat with members of our grants team if you're curious about getting more involved this year. Also, please mark your calendars for our upcoming member reveal on January 15th, when we will announce our annual membership total and the award money we will give out in the 2026 grant year. In addition, please save the dates for 2 of our featured 2026 events, Beyond the Headlines on March 3rd, and our annual awards celebration coming up on June 2nd. Thank you again for being here, and I wish you all a wonderful holiday season.